talking about,
God, do you even
Charles.
want to? Do I got to say the word? I don't even want to say the word. It's so disgusting now. I can't even talk
Yeah,
about it.
I just found out about it 24 hours ago.
I don't even want to talk about it. Look at that. I broadcast. It's a good thing those passwords are encrypted. I showed
Yeah.
my whole login screen.
Hey, Charles, I'm like the governor of Georgia. I just found out about it 24 hours
Oh
ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy times. We got a bunch of ships moving off the coast of North Carolina, Dirk. Three, and they are out there. They are out there, out to sea beyond the canyon off of North Carolina. We have the Encore, the Spirit, and the Bliss are all heading to Norfolk, Virginia, right now off the coast of North Carolina. We have the Breakaway heading to France, it says. Why would the Breakaway be heading to France?
It's Europe.
I never heard that before. We got the Pearl heading to Jacksonville. We got the Getaway anchored off of Cocoa Beach. We got the Sun going to Port Canaveral. We got all these little bit of ship movement around here. We got some
What
of our
did you
ships
say?
in the
What kind of? Oh, ship. I'm sorry.
ship with a
Okay, okay.
P.
Well,
Ship
you're.
happens.
Oh, okay.
We got some ship
Your
happenings.
mic was a little blurry.
Hey, there's
I
nothing in
thought
New
you said ship.
Orleans. Nothing in New Orleans right now, Dirk.
Well,
Surprisingly, I remember the
they really
Breakaway was there.
not really because as far as the docks are concerned, the max they could put on there be three.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the port is not that large, so the port itself they could only dock three, and
Oh,
the
yeah, there's
river is
nothing
pretty
there.
busy because of all the commercial traffic. So
I tell you what, the most interesting web page recently, Dirk, has been this cruise law news blog, and I'm showing it now. And I was familiar with this. It's kind of a blog. It's a blog and I guess a legal website at the same time. But the gentleman that runs the site, this guy, he's an attorney out of Florida, Jim Walker, always posts some interesting stories.
oh yeah, I've seen the stuff before.
Yeah, about the cruise industry and what's happening. He is honoring a gentleman, one of the crew members from Oasis of the Seas that had passed away, and he has a couple of others here
By the
of
way,
those.
Charles, hate to interrupt you, but that doctor that died,
Yeah.
he did not die of the virus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that. I was reading this article actually, Dirk. I don't know if you saw this article. It's a Norwegian escape sails to Miami with just crew members aboard, and he wrote this article about it, and you
Yeah,
could see pictures. Go ahead.
yeah, but the things that were partying.
Yeah, I never saw this. I thought this was unusual, and there's always a couple of sides to the story, but this is an interesting article. So this is concerns the Norwegian escape, Norwegian cruise lines, and I'm gonna read a little bit of this article, Dirk, because it's pretty interesting. It has some pictures
Before
here,
you
photo
before you
evidence.
Charles, before you start, so one thing you should mention too, that it was a crew member that wants to stay anonymous. So I'm always kind of wary about comments being anonymous. When I heard from other crew members I know, they say the exact opposite. So
Oh, really?
it depends how much weight you want to put in an anonymous uh, 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 comment. That's just me. I'm not saying it's not
Yeah.
true,
No,
but
no, I agree. I agree. Whenever you hear about these anonymous sources, I have my doubts also, Dirk. But this is a pretty interesting because it has pictures, and who knows when these pictures were taken.
yeah, they
But
were partying.
they're partying. I don't see anybody social distancing. Let's read the article. According to crew members who wish to remain anonymous, NCL has assembled employees from different NCL ships aboard the Norwegian Escape, which is sailing to Miami this morning. And this was just yesterday morning, Dirk. This was posted. On Thursday, the company finishing what a crew member called a huge operation involving 9 cruise ships: the Escape, the Breakaway, the Getaway, the Spirit, the Sun, the Dawn, the Pearl. The Dawn is listed twice, and one Oceania ship. NCL's plan is for the European crew members to join the Norwegian breakaway and non-Europeans to join the Norwegian escape. The transfers took place via tenders. This occurred last week while the ships were in Great Stirrup Cay. I read about this story. Did you hear about this? All the ships were close to each other, Dirk,
Yeah.
anchored.
As a matter of
and
fact,
they took the tenders and they they transported all the crew members to different ships.
Charles, as a matter of fact, one of my friends that's on one of the ships posted a lot of the pictures, which I posted on our website. Ivan Sotomayor, he's a crew member.
Oh yeah.
I posted his pictures and everything else on our website, and there's some shots on there where you can see all the ships at Stirrup Cay.
All the ships, all the Norwegian ships, and he was involved in the operation transferring all those crew members, Dirk? I missed your post.
He was one of the. I reposted the stuff he posted, sent to me on Facebook. His name is Ivan Sotomayor, which I put on the webpage, and he also posted some pictures yesterday, sailing into Miami, which I put. But the comments I got back from him personally on my personal message was that they were treated well. They had balcony cabins, most of them. That they got reduced drink prices, not hard liquor, but on beers, etc. They had great food, and they were treated really well. So and this guy has no reason to make up a story. So that's why I don't know. And then another member of our members is kind of friend, and posted something very, very similar about a crew member that they were treated right. So it depends how much weight you want to put on that.
Yeah,
See Ivan Sotomayor?
Yeah, I just did it. Any relation to the famous Sotomayor?
No, he is he got a band, which is amazingly good, Latin American. He's from Colombia. And you see the pictures, and he posted some yesterday sailing into Miami, which was very good.
I'm looking at his profile.
So
Hopefully he doesn't remember. Hopefully he doesn't mind. His profile's public.
You read that article, then you read another. Then you read another member posted, who's got a crew member on one of the ships, saying how well they were treated, and then you read something like that. So who do you believe? I don't know.
It's a sharp contrast.
Yeah, that's right.
So you have these ships referencing the great operation that was Dirk and I were just talking about, that Yvonne said that they were transferring crew members, and then you have this Cruise Law News who wrote an article. He was sent pictures from these Norwegian vessels that the crew members apparently sent to him, allegedly sent to him. And it shows a lot of people out without any face coverings, without anything, on the deck, with evening lighting, setting a nice mood, which I think would be nice if everybody was wearing face masks. But I guess the incidence is different. I guess when you're on a ship, now when you think about it, let's think about this. All of these people have been on a ship for greater than 14 days.
Like what, 6 weeks?
Yeah, right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about all of these people have been essentially quarantined on a vessel for greater than 14 days with no exposure from anybody from outside, right?
That's right.
Everybody's been on a ship at sea, wherever.
And there were no known cases. There were no known cases.
So I guess in that context, when you're looking at this picture, although it's shocking when you first see it, but what you have to consider is that all of these people were at sea for the past 14 days, and there's no disease on the ship. They've had no, contact with anyone besides anybody else who's been at sea for 14 days. And I'm sure all of this was weighed carefully by Miami corporate office when doing this. So anyway, in that context, let's continue to read the article.
You know what, Charles? They were probably safer than any of us.
They're probably safer.
These idiots that are out there protesting.
I agree. They're probably safer than you and I right now, Dirk.
That's right.
NCL's plan is for the European crew members to join the Norwegian breakaway and the non-Europeans to join the Norwegian escape. The transfers took place via tenders. This occurred last week while the ships were in Great Stirrup Cay, and we saw some pictures of that just a few minutes ago, ladies and gentlemen. Crew members stated that the crew members were cramped together with no social distancing observed. One crew member described the ship as ridiculously crowded. Several photographs taken by crew members on Thursday evening showed hundreds of crew members socializing together on the open deck, which is shocking, but only if you consider that they've interacted with anybody else outside of somebody who's not been on a cruise ship for 14 days. Right, Dirk?
That's right.
All right, so they're safe.
You put it in context, it makes it a lot different.
Right. It's shocking if you didn't know that they've all virtually been isolated for greater than 2 weeks at sea from anybody who could potentially have this virus.
I like this one. 2 individuals assigned to a small, cramped guest stateroom. Those are the same staterooms that people pay money for. So they're going to complain about that? Being in a guest room instead of their crew quarters?
There was a lot. I read a lot. I don't know. I saw somewhere there was like 3,000. I don't know. 3,800.
And the company doesn't care about us?
I know. I don't think they understand. This is probably
and then
like,
they say they reported the death of a senior member, which was a doctor.
Yeah.
And they, like I said, he did not. They put a statement out, corporate.
Yeah.
He did, from the captain of the ship, that he did not pass away from the virus.
I got to read that.
I think he had a heart attack or something.
Oh my God.
Well, he'd been on ships 20-some years, so he wasn't the youngest.
No.
Hey, Charles, we don't get any comments. The last one I get was like 5-6 minutes ago.
I think you're looking at. I think you looked at the. I'm broadcasting to Cruise Mojo and to HQ Cruises. I think you're on HQ Cruises, Dirk. I think I saw you join over there. I'm not sure if you're looking at the stream in the. I got plenty of comments here. I don't think you're looking at the stream in the group. I think you're looking at it in the old HQ Cruises.
Yeah, I'm on HQ
page.
Cruises. How do I get on the other? How do I get on the other? One?
Just go to Latitudes page and you'll find the stream there. You'll find it. I'm gonna read a couple more lines from this article, Dirk, if you don't mind. Several photographs taken by crew members on Thursday evening showed hundreds of crew members socializing together on an open deck. We were not assigned separate living quarters as expected. 2 individuals assigned to a small, cramped guest stateroom. No privacy, no social distancing. An environment with 3,800 crew members. We are fearful for our safety. We believe that the company doesn't care about us anymore and they are more focused on cutting costs as opposed to protecting our health and safety. When asked about our living arrangements, the answer is that this is the directives from Miami. Yesterday, we reported on the death of a senior ship doctor. We could look at that, too, in a minute. On the Norwegian Gem. Other crew members reportedly tested positive for COVID-19, including a nurse who became seriously ill. I received the last comment this morning from a crew member from the Norwegian Gem who had been transferred to the Norwegian Escape. We are hoping that we are sent home immediately as we all fear for our health and safety here on board. We are due to arrive in Miami this morning. It feels like a disaster waiting to happen. Have a comment, and there's an update to this story, Dirk, that I just noticed. Let's read the update. Several crew members state that NCL is refusing to permit them access to single cabins even though they are available. This is in clear violation of CDC regulations. One crew member said, I am a crew member currently on board the NCL Escape. I was transferred here 2 days ago per the fleet-wide transfer. Currently on board, approximately 90% of the crew members are sharing their cabins with at least one crew member, but some people are sharing with as many as 4 people. The vast preponderance of other crew members. Do you think that was their word?
Yeah, of course.
That crew member was like the vast preponderance. I don't know.
Sounds like
that's definitely
little legal talk.
I think that's like Jim Walker's term. But anyway, the vast preponderance.
I told you, my buddy, he had a balcony by himself, balcony suite.
That entertainer guy?
Yeah.
Oh. Of other crew members who have requested single cabins, I'm being told they are not entitled to a single cabin because of their original contracted position, which is in contravention to our status as stand-down crew. Come on. These people were also told they could not even go into a single crew cabin because housekeeping has already cleaned those cabins.
Baloney.
Yeah. Despite the
Ah.
obvious health risks with the crew members from NCL GEM, which, according to this, had confirmed cases of COVID-19, and B, suffered a fatality 2 days ago. The Escape has refused to put people in single cabins. There are more than enough cabins available owing to the refusal of the NCL getaway crews to stay on the Escape. I don't know about this. I'd like to see the time frame. You know, it's scary, and you would prefer otherwise, but considering that they've all been at sea for 14 days, and depending on when this person was infected, they're probably, as we said earlier, Dirk, safer than you and I. Another
Chuck,
crew.
no, they've been on for
More.
4 weeks or more.
Yeah, you're probably right.
4 to 6 weeks. I mean, since it started. So,
I don't
you know,
think Norwegian would be so reckless that they wouldn't. I mean, I'm sure they consulted with someone.
of course.
I mean, it's a
And like I said,
major
everything-
company, a publicly traded company that doesn't want another scandal. They're gonna consider all the risks here and do the right thing. And if the only thing they probably didn't do is educate the crew, because it doesn't seem like they understand, or maybe these couple of people were absent when they did educate the crew. Another crew member stated, I'm on the Norwegian Escape right now. We have been queuing in our HR lines every day to try to get single living arrangements. Some have reported their roommates feeling ill but not wanting to go to the onboard medical, and the HR and guest services representatives have only advised that because of our positions, for example, housekeeping, crew staff, art gallery, photographers, or even youth counselors, we are not entitled to single cabins because they've already cleaned the crew cabins and we cannot just request it. When bringing up our fear for health and safety, they relay the same message. Because of your position aboard, you are not entitled to single cabin. Get out of here. That's nonsense. What a
BS.
spoiled, rotten brat. If you're so afraid, get off the ship. Get out of there. Quit your job. Please keep me anonymous. This is what we received since the picture was leaked. Team Escape, please read and acknowledge. See important notes from ship meeting with captain. Due to a lovely crew member on board that sent pictures to the media, this has now resulted in the flexibility we had to keep crew happy to now stop. If you are more than 4 to a table on deck 16 or in Spice H2O, you will not be asked to move. You will be asked to leave and return to your cabin. Deck 8 bar for water and soda has now been closed completely, and almost all tables and chairs have been cleared, and you must smoke and then leave and not just sit there. In the eating places, there will now be an empty table in between each one, so going for food, you'll have to wait till people leave before you can enter, so it will take longer to eat. They were expected to have flights in a couple of days for some countries, but now they have been postponed due to the action of this crew member. The CDC is now evaluating the issue. Security will be increased around the ship to make sure crew members abide by these rules. If the rules are not being adhered to, then the next step will be the crew are to remain in their rooms and eat only at the allotted time. Please do not let it come to this. Thank you. Well, look at that. Look at that.
Now they complain. They have to wait to be seated.
Yeah. Photos showing face of crew member wearing NCL shirt intentionally blurred. Let's see who that is. Oh, this guy. That's probably the guy. That's probably the guy that took the picture.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would be unnerved unless I was educated. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless I was educated about the risks. Maybe they didn't do a good job of educating about the risks.
I like Thomas's deal. 4 people in a 2-bedroom haven cabin is just terrible.
Exactly, right? Let's read the comments. Let's see who's here. We got Mary Jo. What's up, Mary Jo? We got Mark Sr. What's up, man? We got Bobby. Hey, Bobby. I'm not sure if I saw you before, but welcome. Thanks for coming by. Mary. Brunilda's here. What's up, Brunilda?
Hey, but Thomas saying too. He says I can't see any crew member complaining about being in passenger cabins.
Nah, that's half BS.
Yeah.
I could see them being concerned, but it must be maybe they just didn't do a good job with
Well,
Educating.
Jim Walker of Walker O'Neill Maritime Lawyer is probably trying to do
Class
a,
action.
a class action. And guess
Probably.
who's making the money? All the crew members. He's going to share all the money he makes with the
Oh, I'm
crew
sure.
members.
I'm sure. Brunilda, Mary's here. What's up, Mary? I saw two reports of conflicting articles of how the doctor died. I'm not surprised, Mary. That's probably true. We're going to look at this one now. I'm sure this is legitimate information here on Jim Walker's website. Hi, all. We got Ann saying hi. Tom Henry, our old friend, is here. What's up, Tom? What's Tom saying? Outrageously crowded is less than normal cruise capacity. That's probably true. Tom is referencing the picture that's saying that those pictures, it is outrageously crowded, except if it's for a normal cruise, which is
Hey,
probably true, Tom.
hey, Charles, go back to what you just posted about Dr. Whoever.
Yeah,
He was found dead yesterday morning.
yeah. I'm
So,
going to read that. I'll read that shortly. Let me see if we see any new faces. Mike from Atlantis here. What's up, Mike? Mary, what's up, Mary? We got a bunch of our regulars here. We got Ann. We got everybody. Hello, Andrea's here. What's up, folks? Welcome. And Andrew, of course, is here. What's up, Andrew? A lot of our regulars are here. Welcome, everybody. And so we're going to get into this story, Dirk, about this ship doctor. And now this is the first time I'm looking at this, and I know you mentioned you saw this. So let's read this together, ladies and gentlemen. A cruise ship doctor employed by Norwegian Cruise Line on the Norwegian Gem died yesterday morning, according to several crew members who wish to remain anonymous. NCL claims he had a heart attack in his sleep. But crew members say he was being treated for pneumonia and was never previously tested for COVID-19. Dr. Alex Guevara had worked for NCL and other crew lines for the past 20 years. He was educated and trained in the Philippines in the late 1970s and early 1980s. He began working as a ship physician in June of 1999. In the past, he worked for Celebrity and Royal Caribbean in addition to NCL. At the time of his death, Dr. Guevara was the senior doctor on the Norwegian Gem. He was being medically treated on the ship for pneumonia, according to ship employees with knowledge of his condition. He was scheduled to transfer from the Gem, which was positioned near Great Stirrup Cay in the Bahamas, to another NCL cruise ship to be eventually transported to the Philippines. Dr. Guevara was found dead yesterday morning in his cabin. The crew was concerned that he died due to COVID-19. To deal with what NCL higher-ups calls gossip, NCL's chief medical officer circulated an email this morning to the medical teams throughout the NCL fleet, a copy of which we reviewed. He wrote about Dr. Guevara's death. So here's the letter from the chief medical officer of the Norwegian fleet. I know gossip has gone around the ships that he had COVID-19, but he did not. He had zero symptoms. Just last night when he was packing to go home, he did die in his sleep from a cardiorespiratory arrest. Alex had no symptoms of COVID-19 and had actually done an amazing job treating respiratory cases aboard his ship. At least one other ship employee, a Filipino crew member, died in mid-April under similar circumstances. Crew members inform me. I guess that's the end. Is that the end of his quote? That's no. That wasn't a quote. Now I think we're off of his letter. On April 13th. Oh no, this is still his letter. On April 13th, NCL's PR department prepared what is called a reactive statement, caption original, which stated about the death of a Filipino ship employee on the Gem. Which stated this about the death of a Filipino ship employee on the Gem. The 56-year-old Filipino crew member with tachycardia arrhythmia was being treated on board. We do not believe he had COVID-19 because Bahamian officials did not allow us to disembark the deceased. We did so in Miami yesterday. The suggested talking points in an email from NCL PR department to certain of its senior employees states that only if asked why we did not test for the COVID-19 because Bahamian officials did not allow anyone to disembark the vessel. NCL offered no explanation why it apparently did not request an autopsy to be performed on the crew member or why it had not earlier tested him for COVID-19. In addition, a nurse who worked with Dr. Guevara on the Norwegian Gem reportedly tested positive for COVID-19, according to crew members. Like the Filipino who died before him, Dr. Guevara did not undergo testing for COVID-19, and so far no autopsy has been performed. Without one, it is purely speculation that he died due to a heart attack, especially because NCL admits that he had done an amazing job treating respiratory cases aboard his ship. Without testing, how can NCL determine whether these respiratory cases were COVID-19? That's a valid point. Several crew members have expressed their alarm with this situation, particularly in light of the prior crew member's death and lack of COVID-19 testing and autopsy. So here's the deal, Dirk. They could absolutely do a COVID-19 test on someone who had passed and get a positive or negative, especially if the recent past. I'm just reading up the last of this article. After we published this article, Business Insider published an article titled, "A Doctor Has Died on the Norwegian Gem 2 weeks after crew member saw another body loaded into an ambulance." Oh, my God. Look at this. All kinds of speculation here. You know, I've seen, I work in healthcare, ladies and gentlemen. We spoke about it before, and I don't know everything, and I'm certainly not a doctor. But I know that these people that get this terrible, terrible virus, it takes a very long time for it to take a toll on someone to the point that they pass away.
You're not a doctor, but you play one online, right?
I play one. It's a horrible, horrible death for these people. And if he didn't have symptoms and visible symptoms, or he wasn't bedbound prior to his death, I think it's likely that that he probably didn't die of it, because the people that are dying of it are the ones that are on the respirators, that can't breathe. They have trouble breathing. Their face turns blue. Their lips turn blue. Terrible, terrible things. It's a terrible way to pass away. Anyway, Dirk, I hope I cheered you up, Dirk.
Well, like I told you, Leo's brother works for the New York Fire Department. He's been on the respirator since April the 5th. And he just got off 3 days ago, but he also had a heart attack. He came out of induced coma 3 days ago, had a high fever. Yesterday, the fever went down. The fever went down, and he corresponded with people in nodding or eye contact. So hopefully he's on the way of getting better.
Who is this now? How do you know this person?
Leo's brother. He's with the New York Fire Department. He's in charge of first responding training.
Oh, wow. He's in a hospital in New York?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Manhattan?
Yeah, they live in Long Island. He told me what hospital he's in. He's been in the hospital. And the problem is that his wife and his two kids, they're 14 and 16, they got it. Their mother-in-law that lived with them passed away from the virus about 3 weeks ago, and but they're okay now. The family members and the wife's okay, and it looks like that he's reacting. The fever went down, so hopefully he's
getting out of the woods,
way
right?
Of being stable, yeah.
Oh my goodness! I hope and pray that things go. It's amazing that he was on a ventilator for that long, Dirk.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah, but you and I talked about that for that long. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible, and he's off. He was weaned from the ventilator, and he's coming out of consciousness, and he's reacting.
They also gave him about 4 days ago. They also gave him the plasma.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's showing real signs that it's that it could reduce the severity of the disease. The plasma. Ron's here. What's up, Ron? And I saw somebody new. Kirk. What's up, Kirk? Got some new folks here. Hello, everybody out there. It's in a strange twist of circumstances, Dirk. I don't know if you heard the first case in New York City, that guy from New Rochelle. They shut down New Rochelle. Have you heard of did I tell you about that? Or did you hear about it on the news? So there's a section of New Rochelle where they believe, the first case in New York City was this attorney. He's kind of a high-profile attorney in New Rochelle, which is like a suburb of New York City. It's like near Westchester. And he was an attorney that commuted to New York City on the train every day. I think it was the Metro North, if I'm not mistaken, back and forth to Manhattan. And he had like kind of a cough and You know, he wasn't doing well for like 2 or 3 weeks. He was a relatively young man. I think he was in his early 40s. And he wound up, he went on a ventilator. He was very sick. They discovered he had this. They shut down this whole area in New York City. It's called New Rochelle. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. I mean, they call the National Guard in, and they shut it down. They quarantined the whole area. That was kind of like the first area in New York City that they quarantined. And this guy, young man, high-profile guy. Now I can't find New Rochelle. And he's on a ventilator. He goes. Finally, he tests positive to this. He's having a hard time breathing. Goes to the hospital. They find out that he has this terrible disease. Right here it is, New Rochelle. And
it's a high rent district, huh?
It's actually a very nice neighborhood. Yeah, it's a very nice area. He goes on a ventilator. And he's on the ventilator for like 2 weeks. He wakes up. When he wakes up, he thinks he's already been on the ventilator for like a couple of days. And in a strange set of circumstances, I happen to work with a guy that is friendly with that guy. And knew him and saw him right before. And he wound up being quarantined too. This gentleman I work with was quarantined for 2 weeks. A lot of people in the community was quarantined. They weren't allowed to leave their homes. And so I got like firsthand knowledge of that guy, and he's doing well. Thank God he recovered. Andrea says it's big news here in New York City. It was, Andrea, yeah. And he recovered, but he was on the ventilator for 2 weeks, and when he came out of it, he had no idea how long he was on it, and his family was so happy. The whole community rallied around this guy, and he recovered. You know, he's doing well. And of course, you hear the horrible stories of you know how the disease affects people much more severely than others. It's still a mystery, but basically any kind of comorbidity you have, any kind of like if you have even just a little diabetes or a little bit of high blood pressure or whatever, you're obese, you're going to get hit by this thing if you get it. So keep washing your hands, ladies and gentlemen, right? What else? I'm sure you know by now you should wash your hands. You know what I'm very careful about, Dirk? Like my contact lenses. I'm like such a fanatic over putting those in my eyes.
Is that a new thing for this hand washing deal?
We've only been talking about it. When did we first start talking about this? It has to be January, right?
Well,
we started talking about it when we talked about genting. That Andrew,
okay. I remember now.
Yeah, remember we did that whole show on genting, and that was just when like whispers of this thing was happening. Nobody ever thought it was gonna. Like I had never thought in a million years that it would come to America. It didn't even cross my mind at the time that it would get out of China. You know, it didn't even cross my mind that it would get out of China.
But they not believe that it was done in the lab.
I saw that. Yeah, there's some evidence that it wasn't created in the lab. It was in the lab and being studied in the lab.
Yeah, right.
And it somehow got out and allegedly affected one of the workers there, and that spread from there. And they can't track it down definitively because China isn't cooperating with the investigation. They're not. They call that patient 0, which is the first patient that had this disease.
Didn't one of the Chinese doctors?
The whistleblower.
One of the first one passed away on it.
He died.
After he got arrested.
Yep, the whistleblower. He was the first guy that said that. Because initially, from what I understand, Dirk, and I'm no expert on coronavirus, and this is becoming the coronavirus show, folks. But there's nothing else to talk about.
Well, that's good, so John, since we don't hear about it on any of the news channels.
At least they heard about it here, right, Dirk?
We're doing a community service here.
So anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. So, the doctor. So the World Health Organization initially said it's an animal to human virus, and it can't go human to human. And this Chinese doctor, this doctor in China, said, no, that's not true. We have evidence that it's going human to human. And he wound up contracting it and dying from it. But he was the guy that first said that this is a virus that's very dangerous and it can spread from human to human, contrary to what the World Health Organization was saying. So That's a good one. So, Andrew's saying segue for the Princess investigation. So, did you hear about this, Dirk? That's a great point. I think Andrew is going to be the executive producer of the Cruise Mojo show because he has really good suggestions. So he's saying we should segue for the Princess investigation. And I'm sure you saw that, Dirk. Did you hear that Congress is investigating Carnival?
Yeah.
For the
I posted that that on our website, including the letter from Congress that was sent to the CEO of Carnival.
Oh, I got to check that out.
Yeah.
Wow, I missed a lot.
It's in the article. That letter's highlighted. You push on the highlight, and it shows you the whole letter from the Transportation Department from Congress. All 3 or 4 pages.
Really? I see you that. I'm looking at your
Charles,
post.
I tell you one thing. I'm going to make you an honorary member of our website so you can see some of these publications because
can
really
you please? I've been so wrapped up. I've been so wrapped up. I feel terrible.
It's a good website.
I heard it was good. I heard it was a good website. I heard there's a guy Dirk that goes there. What's his name?
It's fake news. It's not fake news.
It's not fake news. Genting Cruise Lines announces comprehensive new onboard health. Oh, you have a thing about Genting. I'm looking for the Congress post. Latest from NCO cancellations. What is it? That's just only from April. I can't find your post, Dirk.
It was an article. Oh God, when did I put it on? It was an article from. Was it the Miami paper? But I did definitely publish it. It's should be under my name.
Let's open it up. Oh, you know what? I think Andrew might have sent it to me actually. Let me check Andrew's.
See, Andrew's told you too. It's a great website, Charles.
I know. Thanks, Andrew. Oh my God.
I tell you,
I haven't had the time to look at it.
I just got very lucky. Charles just.
Oh, here it is.
Lucky.
He did.
I just got very lucky.
With what?
We had a vacation planned in Ireland, and I had booked the Delta flight for Margaret and I from Atlanta directed to Dublin, and we were going to cancel the flight, and my travel agent said, no, this is hang loose. So what happened 3 days ago, Delta changed the routing from Atlanta to Dublin direct, from Atlanta to Boston, and then on Aer Lingus to Dublin, which gave me the right to cancel the flight and get 100% money back.
Oh, that's excellent.
And guess what? It took 3 days, and Margaret had it back on her credit card.
Wow, that's incredible. That's great. That's a great story. Yeah, a lot of people I see posted in the book they haven't gotten their future cruise credit yet, or their refund money.
They're overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's going to take a lot of time for them to sort through all that stuff.
Plus, they're laying off people, so.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's terrible times. I don't think we're gonna get to any degree of normalcy for a very long time. So this was sent to me by Andrew. Shout out to Andrew, longtime member, always helps us out. Thank you, Andrew, for all your contributions to this page. You guys don't even know half of what Andrew does. Really great guy. Always sends us some news articles. Really a really good member. So thank you, Andrew, for sending us these news snippings. So U.S. lawmakers open probe into coronavirus infections on Carnival cruise ships. And this, of course, who owns Princess, Dirk? Carnival. So this, I think, has to exclusively do, with the Princess, how they handled things on the Princess cruises. I'm not 100% sure.
Have a look if the letter is in there, Charles.
The letter is here.
Go down.
Here it is. Wow, 6-page letter. Look at this letter. It can't be fun to receive this letter from Congress, folks.
There, the letter reads. There, highlight that just to see it. See, there it is. Transportation infrastructure.
What's this say? They blacked it out. Mr. Donald, Arnold Donald is the CEO of Princess Cruises. This will get washed away. You know why? Because they got Saudis invested in this company. They're going to lobby their friends in Washington. This whole thing is going to go away.
He's a personal friend of you know who.
Trump?
I
No?
didn't want to be political,
Oh,
otherwise you
oh,
call
oh, I'm
me
sorry.
a
Sorry,
that
sorry.
way you call me a Democrat again. So, and
I
we are
never
not
called you that. I thought about it, though.
I know we are a non-political website, Charles.
All right. But I know, from a pure financial point of view, the reason why he got Saudi investors is, I'm sure, first of all, he needed money, but also because they have some political clout in Washington. It's no secret, whether it be a Republican clout or Democrat clout. They have clout, period, with everybody. So let's read very quickly the first few paragraphs of this letter. So this letter is from Congress to the CEO of the Carnival Corporation. Mr. Donald, long before the COVID-19 pandemic began to race around the world, affecting local communities, churches, cities, homes, hospitals, and cruise ships sailing at sea, the cruise industry had a problem managing, containing, and responding to public health outbreaks. During a Royal Caribbean cruise on the Oasis of the Seas ship in January 2019, which departed from Port Canaveral, Florida, 592 passengers and crew fell ill with the norovirus described by the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention as an ultra-contagious gastrointestinal illness. The CDC said that this was more than the total number of passengers who fell ill from the norovirus on every cruise that set sail in 2018. Kaiser Health News reported the CDC identified the Oasis of the Seas incident as one of the 10 norovirus outbreaks on cruise ships last year. According to the CDC, half of the cruise lines that had norovirus outbreaks in 2019 were Carnival Corporation-owned cruise ships. That might just be a function of its size, right? Why do they mention in a Royal Caribbean ship to a letter to the Carnival Corporation? Have you read this, Dirk, this whole letter?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Norovirus and other communicable diseases are not new public health threats to the cruise line industry. In 2010, the World Health Organization identified norovirus and influenza outbreaks as the major public health challenges for the cruise industry. This assessment was made an entire decade before COVID-19 emerged on the world's stage. That's powerful concerns there. On March 23, 2020, the CDC reported that the Diamond Princess, with 328 Americans on board, and the Grand Princess, which docked in the United States, had more than 800 total COVID-19 cases, including 10 deaths. Both are operated by Princess Cruises, a subsidiary cruise line of the Carnival Corporation. The number of confirmed COVID-19 cases on those two ships is more than all of the confirmed cases in the states of Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, Alaska, or Hawaii as of April 22nd, 2020. That's a powerful sentence right there, too.
Yeah, it sure is.
According to the CDC, during the initial stages of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Diamond Princess was the setting of the largest outbreak outside mainland China. Bloomberg has reported that at least 9 of the Carnival ships have been infected with COVID-19, resulting in more than 1,500 confirmed infections and at least 39 deaths. Let me see what they're requesting of this guy, if I could skip down. As of April 23, 2020, none of the front-facing web pages from any of the Carnival's 9 affiliated cruise lines mentioned a single word about COVID-19, coronavirus, or the precautions these cruise lines intend to take once the CDC lifts its no-sail order for cruise lines. Instead, these sites are advertising various images of couples dining and dancing, musicians entertaining, and lines of children holding hands and playing. Oh, my God. At least Norwegian acknowledges there's a problem, right? Like Norwegian, Royal Caribbean acknowledge, like, this is a major concern. I was not aware that Carnival did not even acknowledge or communicate the level of concern that's necessary. But that's actually not true. I remember seeing, like, the CEO of Princess making a public plea, right?
Well, it all depends. It all depends on the dates. At what date what happened. So.
Well, they say as of April 20th. It's a pretty recent letter, April 23rd. Oh, maybe they did it right after. I guess that's a little over a week ago. 3 years before the coronavirus pandemic emerged, a book on cruise ship tourism observed the cruise industry needs to undertake a proactive approach in crisis management paying more attention to emerging health issues as well as preparing itself with comprehensive and exhaustive crisis management plans. However, based on the Carnival Corporation's response to the current coronavirus crisis, it appears that sort of advice was not heeded. In particular, recent allegations by a media report in Bloomberg are quite disturbing. They suggest that officials at Carnival were aware of the threat to some of its ships and did not take the appropriate actions, which may have led to greater infections and the spread of the disease. Even a senior CDC official who leads the CDC's cruise ship task force was quoted as saying she had a hard time believing that Carnival was simply a victim of happenstance. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man, they're really going to get into them. And
Well,
here's what they're asking.
Also, if you recall, Charles, is forget the virus and everything else, they also got fined a few $1 million for other things like dumping gray water in Alaska and all kind of. And then they did it again, and then they called in the CEO and told him, say, look, if this happened again, so that they violated the order and the fine. They did it again. Then they were told, if it happens again, we will close all U.S. ports for Carnival. And then all of a sudden, they took action.
Yeah, wow.
And I got nothing against Carnival. As a matter of fact, I don't own stock. I mean,
yeah.
But so they have. But the thing is, too, I mean, it's a gigantic corporation. Look at the amount of, and I'm not particular. I mean, I had nothing against Carnival. I never been on one of their ships. But the thing is, if you look at the entire corporation and the amount of ships they have, all the different companies, and then at all the passengers, you're talking hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, it's.
Yeah. Oh, they were up April 29th. What's the date of this letter? May 1st. It took a little bit of a dive. May 1st. I'm guessing in response to that letter anyway.
Yeah. I don't think the general public knew about this letter. I think
it was on the news, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Wow, they're in big trouble. They're going to find something. Let's see if their pals get them out. So we got some people saying, let's talk cruising. We got Tom Henry booked 3 cruises today. What's up, Tom? Tom is a longtime member, major cruise junkie, right, Tom? He booked some cruises, and we had another guy, Ron, is saying that he's going to sail a 14-day out of Tampa in November on the Norwegian Jade. Very nice.
I had Charles. I had a November getaway out of New Orleans, which I changed. I canceled and rebooked for February out of New Orleans on the getaway or the breakaway.
I hope there's a vaccine soon, man. I hope we can get out of this. I just heard there was an interview tonight, and maybe some of the members know what I'm talking about, that they're optimistic they'll have something, even though they're saying 18 months, that by the end of the year it's possible that they'll have something. So I really don't think we'll have any semblance of normalcy until they have a vaccine and people get vaccinated against this, just so they feel safe, And I hope it goes away. I mean, I hope it goes away altogether. I was just talking to a friend of mine who's a physician. He was saying there's a possibility it could go away and not return. He doesn't expect that to be the case, but there is a possibility of it. Anyway, I guess I'm trying to be optimistic. My thoughts and my words always lean towards something good happening. I guess you have to be that way. Hey, somebody gave us 4 frowny faces. We got 4 frowny faces as comments.
We do?
Yeah. And people that we know. What's up with that? Anyway, maybe something I said or something we were maybe in reaction to the crew members telling the story. That's a possibility. But we got a bunch of our members are going, Dirk. I'm not booked for anything because I want to have some real news about this stuff before I do anything. before I book anything, although I think it will be done, and I think we'll have some high degree of confidence that by this time next year, this will all be a bad memory. I still can't bring myself to book anything.
Hey,
That's
we
just
okay. The president said in the town hall tonight that we have vaccine at the end of the year. All right. Hey, we all
I hope
safe.
so. I hope
We are
that's true.
safe.
I hope that's true.
Golly. Yeah, because you always said the truth. Everything you said is right on. So I think we're going to have it at the end of the year.
I hope so.
I'm thinking
Andrew,
positive, Charles.
Andrew is asking if we're going to have a Cruise Mojo group cruise. I would absolutely love to do that, Andrew. I think we should do that. And I think if we're going to make use of this website, we have so many members that it makes sense for us to try to get some group rates. Right, Dirk?
Oh, well, maybe we can charter the whole ship.
I'm sure we probably could, based on the number of members we have. We probably could get a whole ship.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to do that, Andrew. But like I said, I don't want to do it until we have some like definitive news about what the plan is for the future of cruising. I just think that for me personally, and I can't speak for others, but for me personally, I have to like feel good about it. I have to feel comfortable. Like when I'm on vacation, I want to feel comfortable that everything will be that we're all there for a good time, that we have nothing to worry about, and I want to feel that level of comfort so I can enjoy myself. If I don't have that level of comfort, I won't enjoy myself. How do you feel about that, Dirk? You feel the same way, right?
Absolutely right.
Yeah, we could wait. I think, look, the day that there's a vaccine and, there's a batch and ready for it to be deployed globally, and they have a systematic method of doing that, of vaccinating everybody across the globe in every country, access to everyone, then that's when we're going to plan this cruise. So until that day comes, we have to be very cautious. The unknowns about this virus, and I'm sure we're going to learn more as the months pass. But being up here, where I am in the midst of this pandemic, I think has left me very concerned and probably overly cautious because I've seen firsthand how terrible it is. And I certainly wouldn't want to put anybody at risk for having to deal with this horrible virus. So, and to see how it's affected families and everybody else. So, not fun. But until we have some degree of comfort, Andrew, absolutely, we're going to do that Cruise Mojo cruise.
Yeah, Charles, they said, where would the cruise go? I think it'd be a potluck one. Just go. Don't tell anybody and just, have a potluck one.
Yeah, I don't know.
goes.
I think the easiest one is probably going to be out of Miami, right, Dirk?
No, New Orleans.
For you want to go out of New Orleans? I guess New Orleans is kind of central in the United States, so we're probably going to have people from all over the United States go.
And we can party on Bourbon Street. Hey, man.
So maybe we'll all fly to New Orleans, and we'll take a ship out of New Orleans to the Western or Eastern Caribbean. That would be fun.
That's right.
We'll be partying down in, what's that private island they own off the coast of Belize? Harvest Caye?
Yeah.
Harvest Caye. I've never been to that one. Have you been, Dirk?
Yeah, a few times. The good thing is it's a non-tender.
They have a dock, right? Let's see if we can find Harvest Caye.
Is that the only bad thing is it's privately run, and you cannot use your key card. You got to pay for it.
Is this
But
it?
otherwise, it's beautiful.
Oh, here it is. Harvest Caye Run Shop. This must be Harvest Caye here. Do they own this huge island?
No, they have they paid for getting it developed, etc. And they are private individuals that run the shops and everything else. I guess they're paid for everything, so they're heavily involved. But it's not run. It is not run by Norwegian. It's run by individuals and the government, I guess.
Look at all these seats, man. Look at all that. Wow. They
Oh,
definitely
it's
did a
beautiful.
great job compared to. I love Great Stirrup Cay. It's a lot of fun. Here's the dock for Harvest Cay.
And they got the private cabanas.
Yeah, look, they got the rum shop as soon as you come off the ship. That's a good thing. That's probably a hot spot. Yeah, and
Yeah,
here the cabana is a little bit down further. Beautiful. It
yeah,
looks beautiful.
around the little inlet.
I went down to Roatan, which it's not part of Belize, but I was in Belize. Belize is beautiful. But Roatan, the reefs there are so pristine. It's unbelievable. At least when I went, which was kind of a long time ago.
Yeah, and the good thing too is in Roatan they got the new dock done, so chances that you have
Yeah,
to
the
tender.
Western Caribbean cruises. They go to Roatan and they go there. I think they go to Cozumel too, right?
Well, Cozumel and Playa.
Yeah, we'll probably do this itinerary. New Orleans, View Cruises. Let's take a look. Where they go? Harvest Cay, Cozumel, and Roatan. I'll take them all. Hang out in New Orleans for a couple of days. Drink some New Orleans liquor. What do you think, Dirk?
Some hurricanes and some beignets.
Sounds like fun. But yeah, we'll be doing that. We're gonna be doing that. We're gonna post that. We'll have a lot of fun. Maybe 2022. Andrew says 2/22/22. Oh wow, that'd be a good date. That's very memorable.
Costa Maya was built just for cruise ships. That they got pools and beaches. It's Costa Maya is nice.
That's what on my list. Didn't they have like a land feature that collapsed? Was I reading that about that today? They had one of those like beautiful in the ocean, like a natural bridge, and it collapsed. Was that Costa Maya?
Really?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
I didn't think
Hurricane Dean. I don't know.
I didn't think they had a bridge in Costa Maya.
Not a bridge, like a natural rock formation that looked like a bridge and it collapsed. I don't know. Maybe I was thinking.
No, the one I can think of, but that happened years ago, was on one of the Dutch islands. It looked like a bridge. Oh shoot! But that's years ago.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, right. It was like a natural formation in the ocean and
Yeah,
it
right.
collapsed.
And it looked like it looked like a bridge, and the water came through underneath it.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
collapsed. But that's years ago. There was what are the it was in not on one of the ABC islands.
I'm not
Aruba.
sure.
It wasn't Aruba.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but that's years ago. So
I'm
that's
trying to find it. No, I can't find it. I think somebody just posted about it today, actually, in the group.
Cabo San Lucas bridge that collapsed.
Oh,
So, Cabo San Lucas. The one in Aruba was very
oh,
similar
that was
to
Cabo
the
San Lucas. Okay,
the one
thanks,
in
Mary.
Aruba. The one in Aruba was very similar. It looked very similar to the Cabo San Lucas one, almost alike.
I'm reading. I'm thinking Dallas. We will wake up and find it was just. I hope so. Oh yeah, Tom Henry's referencing. You remember that old show Dallas, Dirk,
Oh
where they had a whole plot one season because I think they fired an actor and then they brought him back, and they said it was just a bad dream.
Yeah.
They said the whole season was just a bad dream. So Tom is saying, let's hope that we wake up and this is all just a bad dream. This whole situation. I hope so, Tom. That's a good. That's funny. That's a funny analogy. But that's our show for tonight, folks. Thanks for joining us, everyone, as we continue down this path of podcasts for the Cruise Mojo show. Even in the absence of cruises, it's always great connecting with everyone and reminiscing about the good old days, right, Dirk? When we could go on a cruise and not have to worry about getting a deadly virus, for example. But there's a lot of people in the group who are keeping the spirit of cruising alive, and I greatly appreciate it. It's always nice to see the enthusiasm about my favorite way to travel, and I'm sure it's Dirk's favorite way to travel.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's such a wonderful thing, and I really hope that we can get back to it soon. And it's always a pleasure to talk with like-minded folks and to connect with our members in this way every week. So once again, folks, if you have social media, we're on Twitter. And basically what I do before every show, if we're going to be live, I usually tweet that we're going to be live, and I'm going to bring that up in just one moment on the screen. So if I know we're going to be live and you're worried about missing us, or if we're not going to be broadcasting, you can follow us on Twitter. And I usually post we'll be broadcasting the Cruise Mojo show live, maybe about an hour before we go on. So if you're curious if we're going to be live, follow us on Twitter. Cruise Mojo is the handle on Twitter, or at Cruise Mojo. You could find us there. I'm on Instagram too, although I don't post very often, but check us out. We also got the YouTube channel, Cruise Mojo YouTube channel. I post some videos here and there occasionally. And, of course, the Cruise Mojo page on Facebook, which is what we're broadcasting to now, as well as the Norwegian Cruise Line Latitudes members page. So check us out. I broadcast on here. All the shows are archived on here, as well as some other media, too. So come check out the page. Make sure you like it. Make sure you click like, click follow, so you can check out what we're doing also on Cruise Mojo. We did do the website, but the website is I haven't finished it. I kind of just left it because as we were in the process of finishing it, this whole thing happened. So I just haven't had the time really to finish the work on it. But eventually all the shows will be on here too. You'll be able to check it out. Check out all the shows will be linked here. I've got some pictures here. Here's the Instagram feed also at the bottom of cruisemojo.com. Check us out, folks. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you follow the Cruise Mojo page. Check out our YouTube channel also. We're there, and we broadcast live to YouTube every week. You can watch it on the big screen if you have a Fire Stick or a Roku or one of those things. You could subscribe to the Cruise Mojo channel, and when we go live, you can watch it on the big screen. So that's it for this week, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a good week. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're protecting yourself and your family. Make sure you take care of yourself, take care of your neighbors, ladies and gentlemen, through this terrible time. And I pray we'll all be back to cruising soon. And I wish you all a wonderful week. And we'll see you next Sunday right here on the Cruise Mojo Show, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live. As always, Dirk and I will be broadcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the week, and we will see you soon.
We see you when we see you, and you all stay safe out there.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. How we don't talk.
There we go. Bye, everybody.